Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We had a little bit of time here. We have it scheduled till 6 to hang out and stream. So we have 10, 15 minutes. If you have any questions, now is the time. We'll start loading them up and start talking. Kind of coming fresh off of release weekend. We just played Goblin for the first time. A lot of stuff going on.
The one thing that I think is notable about the release is I've following all of the various social things and trying to keep tabs on the pulse of the game. And most everything I've seen is like, I love this,
Well,
I haven't seen a lot of like, oh, I'm super disappointed. I think most people have been playing it and saying, I like this a lot better than I thought.
That goes in your deck.
Which is, a good place to be if you're a publisher. If you're FFG right now, you should be like, okay, we have got a hit, so let's keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I've been surprised that as far as I know, as of this morning, we were still able to order more core sets.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of game, I mean, this maybe speaks to FFG kind of having a handle on supply at this point, but given that it's Marvel, given that it's an LCG, given that the game is good as well, my expectation was those are going to be gone pretty quick. And they may be, like this, our tokens went in and out of stock while I was streaming, so you never know. But I definitely think it has been nice to see, and I get it, it's like until you play the game, it's hard to know. But see so many people, yeah, I mean, you can watch various stuff about it, but starting to play the game and basically being like, man, this is really great. Like, I just want a whole lot more of this. And honestly, it even happened for me. I talked about it on last week's podcast where, like, I felt like we had played a whole bunch kind of leading out, but, like, finding the Iron Man aggression deck.
There's some weird little decks right out of the core set, honestly.
And even it was the first time I hadn't played Spider-Man Leadership particularly, and you had written the guide because you had been looking at it and with all the deck lists and stuff, and so I was like, I'll try that, and then played a game in 4-player particularly, and I was just like, that was awesome.
Yeah,
like this
is great, isn't it?
Even just Inspired Black Cat is like
that's
alone.
what that deck's about.
Yeah, it's like, all right, got it.
It's just like so good. It's so efficient. The question that I ultimately have is, what is this game ultimately going to look like I think, where is it going to be in 6 months? Because here's the LCG problem, right? Is like, you get a lot of excitement up front, and then eventually it just kind of loses steam because releases don't come out enough. And one of the things that is kind of hard for Champions is that if you have a scenario pack, and then let's say you have a hero pack, and they don't care about the hero, you're 2 months away from your next challenge, right?
Yep.
And it's not like, it's a little bit less on the arc. Although you can get together and the replayability is really good. So I don't know if that's enough. Like, how much of that core set could you play before Green Goblin comes out and feel fulfilled by it?
I mean, I'm probably at this point
you played a bunch too.
40 or 50 games in.
That's true.
I would guess. And I'm just now feeling proficient, I feel pretty solidly proficient.
You see the Matrix kind of thing?
Yeah. So even if you assume it's 2 hours a game, you're at 40 games, you're at 80 hours of play before you have reached that. And maybe people are faster or slower than me at doing that. But if it is actually 80 hours, right, it's like if the average person's playing is 5 hours a week,
yeah,
it's like that's still going to take you 16 weeks.
That's reasonable. I mean, that's good math.
So and in 4 months, we're going to have, presumably, Goblin, Cap, Miss Marvel, Wrecking Crew.
So that's you're already almost at double the core set scenarios at that point.
And at that point, we have 2 aspects that have double the cards, basically. Mm-hmm. And then 8 more weeks later, we'll presumably get 2 more hero packs with 2 more aspects.
And you'll have 3 to 4 modular sets that you can throw back into
that are going to be different. So I think that my prediction, because they've announced that there's a product that is a campaign expansion, mm-hmm. and my hope is that if we're getting 1 or 2 scenarios in the packs, then a campaign expansion is going to be
4 or 5,
voluminous.
6,
it's
8, 10.
I don't know. And ideally, it's also, this would be my dream. It's not only a lot of villains or whatever, but it's also it's a campaign, so it's interconnected. So that playing it is it's more like Arkham in terms of we're going to play 8 scenarios in a row.
That would be sick.
And so it's that's going through that once is going to take us 8 weeks. If we play 1 game a week with the same group.
Yeah, you play at least
and
2
then it's
a week.
Well, now you're going to need to run through
Shuffle
that.
it up.
Like I'm willing to go through that a couple times.
Yeah.
And if
With a different deck, too.
If 100%. And if it's actually each scenario affects other scenarios, then like it's
or
like
your heroes, or like
100%.
you get a
Totally. So like that's where it's like that is the big moment for me because I think new game, a lot to explore up front right now, right? So this first 2 or 3 months is a nice little period. But by the 4th month, we have 2 scenario packs, which means we have 5 total villains and a couple of heroes. But then when they come around the corner into the next, like the campaign expansion, whenever that comes out, that's kind of the big moment where like that's typically that like 8 to 14 month window, I think, when an LCG kind of either loses steam or click. Like Netrunner, that's when we started hitting the boxes, and it was just like, here's a bunch of cards. Like, let's go.
And the weird part about Netrunner was like, here's 2 factions that now get really different and good.
Like,
Whereas
strangely good.
with this, it's totally like you could have 6,000 scenarios released tomorrow and it would just be great. Like there is no balance downside to that. So I get your point there. I think that's a really good point. And I think by the time you get that first campaign expansion, you probably have a critical mass of cards that basically says forever, this is replayable. Like an interesting experience. We could stop here and it will probably be something you can continue to play for the next decade.
Sure. And I think if I'm really curious about the campaign expansion.
There's so much expectation on the campaign
I know,
expansion
it's
that as a
insane.
designer, it's got to be troubling.
If all it does is introduce 3 to 8 scenarios that are somehow interacting, and like if every campaign expansion is kind of a different thing going on, and it's like, okay, well, what campaign do we want to run through? We go a year or 2 down the road, we have new heroes, and it's like, let's use the new heroes and go back to that old campaign. But we'll throw in new modular sets, right?
Yeah.
It's like just a very, very weird thing going on. So I want to read some comments real quick. Yeah.
Let's get some questions
going. So when it looked like you had multiple Nick Fury in your deck, was that just leadership? Yeah, I recurred it from Steven's Discord pile, the Nick Fury. That's what happened.
You only had the one, yeah.
Yep. AA Manager says, was shocked to see my copy of the game from you guys arrive on release day. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Thank you for ordering.
Thanks for ordering. Yeah, we try to say that as much as we can. It's real. We actually do that.
Yep.
It takes a lot of work to do that, to stagger packaging and get everything ready ahead of time and all of that. But I mean, for us, we definitely think it's worth it because we've been in that scenario too, where it's like, it's Friday release dates especially, and it's like you're going to try to play it on the weekend, and so we want to do the best thing that we can to get it to you for that moment because it's one of the most exciting moments of a game.
100%.
It's really important.
As a kid, so we used to play at the Movie Barn, my uncle's movie rental store, and the day sets were supposed to come out, and it was kind of spotty, and it'd be like, we're in a very small town, and it's like, all right, you're looking for the UPS truck because there's only one UPS truck in the town.
Once.
Yeah. Well, I remember I saw the UPS. I was at my grandma's, and it was like 5 blocks away from the Movie Barn. And so I see the UPS truck like heading that direction, and it's like, I know what is on that truck, and I know where he's going. And I immediately was like, I'm out of here, Grandma. And I booked it down to the Movie Barn.
Start running.
And then
That's a great scene.
Anyways, it was exciting. So that's where it's like, we very much do everything we can to get these things out as soon as possible. That's also why we ship all our orders within a day. Fundamentally, it's like no waiting.
Yeah.
All right, next.
And I don't think any other online retailer is doing that, by the way, in case you guys ever wanted to find out what it's like to order from other folks. That is one advantage I think that we have. First of all, we care. That's a big advantage. And then second of all, we're just so dedicated to a smaller number of products that we think it's worth spending the time to make the experience really good.
In terms of replayability, Vincent saying a lot of us are barely playing now, like just now. So as long as Green Goblin comes out soon, it really shouldn't be a problem. There's plenty for us to explore.
Absolutely.
Ben Davies. Oh, we're going to go back. Ben Davis says, this is just a very, very nice series of comments. Thomas says, great job on the tokens in the guide. Appreciate the kind words.
That's awesome.
Ben Davies says, it's incredible that you guys are at a point where, as a business, you can dedicate half a day for 4 people purely to stream content like this.
It is incredible.
It is incredible, and to me, it's incredible that there's enough people watching and buying from us that this is a feasibility. It's really amazing.
Let's just break this down too. So the 2 cameras that we bought this year were specifically so we could do something like this. The lights are the same way, so we could stream. We had all of this set up in this room, which used to be our office. I don't have a desk anymore. Zach doesn't have a desk anymore.
Yeah, I work out front.
So we've got the empty space back there. But all of that is literally, it's money in, money out. So we were able to afford that upgrade because we're getting money through orders and subscriptions. So that's literally what allows this to happen. And then on the other side of that, like one of these videos, for us to do a playthrough of Green Goblin, without the 4-hour block of live stream is like a 20 plus, 30 plus hour investment because we're recording everything, then we're taking it into post-production, and then all of the editing and effects. It makes it a nicer video. I think like the effects aren't quite as robust that we can do here, although we're working on that. But for the payoff, I mean, we're looking at actually this is like a savings also in a lot of ways for us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that.
It's like an eighth the effort.
Yeah.
And you lose 10%, 20% of the quality.
The only thing that makes it possible too is that we happen to have been doing this for like 12 years. So we're pretty comfortable like doing it live, which is very helpful. That actually allows us to get a lot more content out without having to take all of the production time into account. So that's.
And now that we're set up, we're probably going to stream a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got that experience because you kept watching. So it
all
works together.
Great system that builds on it. So then David Whitfield agrees. 5 agree this is a great effort by you guys supporting the game. Thank you. And then Ben says, for no other reason, that's enough to keep me ordering everything you release to support the game. That's how that works.
Great. David, thank you. Also, I just saw your comment. That's very meaningful to hear. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
David Lattimore, Goblin apparently has 2
Best of
scenarios
health,
and 4 modular encounter decks. So that's
good.
really good.
Okay, so we only got
modular.
1.
Yeah.
Good.
Which is super good.
How is it that we don't know that? That's
Well,
negligent.
There's a lot going on. John K2, hey, just got done peeling off the paper on your tokens. They look amazing. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Thanks for buying
That's
them.
really great. Yeah.
That's
The paper
crazy.
peeling moment is actually, I kind of like it because it's like one of those like slow down and dive in moments.
Yeah, so
where
if
it's just like,
if you're unfamiliar, all our tokens come with a protective peel.
and it looks so good as soon as they're
You
just
have to like peel them off. Yeah, I was sitting there last week on release day, slowly peeling off all my tokens. Let's see. Going back, Ryan Roper, main schemes villains don't shuffle in the counter deck yet, so they could release digital ones also.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, you could always just have something you could print out. Like, well, that's what we did for these Green Goblin ones, so that's pretty cool, actually.
Challenges they do for Arkham right now, like you could do.
Exactly, like challenges,
Well,
nightmares,
and we've seen with like Power Rangers, the board game, that they were releasing scenarios once a month, which is like a print.
You see that Halloween one? That thing was awesome.
That's so good. It's such a smart. It's so
Smart
clever.
theme.
All right, the next thing says. Hitmonkey says, I'll be playing a couple times a month, so I'm good for ages.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
That's most people probably.
Finn says, what's the best way to sleeve if you expect shift cards consistently between the 4 decks characters? So here's what I did.
Zach does this.
Yeah, I because of that very reason. Like today, we were going to play, and I needed to do this very quickly. So I sleeve all of my hero decks in the same kind of sleeves. So I'm using black katana sleeves, but you can use whatever suits your fancy. And then on the villain side, I have all of the villain cards sleeved in the white katana sleeves. But the obligations and the nemesis cards are also sleeved in those same things. So that's really it. I mean, you just sleeve all in one color, and then you can very quickly swap cards around and do whatever you need to do, particularly neutrals and that kind of thing.
And black and white's a natural fit for that.
Yeah, that's just my style.
I mean, they're the two polar opposites.
Well, let's see.
You know what's weird? Do you know that black in the visible light spectrum is the absence of color, whereas in the hue spectrum, it is all colors mixed together. And white is the opposite. So technically, white
is black.
Whoa, you some kind of Taoist?
Enlightenment.
Yeah, no, like white, the visible spectrum of color is white, broken down into all of its various bits. And then,
oh my gosh, these are hilarious questions.
Okay, go for
you
it.
ready for this? Not that I.
Nobody's asking questions about light
Your
spectrums?
color theory lesson here. You should write a PDF on that. We'll go through a strategy guide.
a lot of value there.
This is cool. Ryan Roper says, I can see them producing specific alternate villains or main schemes specifically for organized play kits.
Absolutely.
Which is a genius.
100%. Yes.
David, I'll let you take this one away. Steven, he says, what are those black trays you guys are using, and what do they do?
These are our cosmic boards.
I'm gonna post a link.
They hold cards. So they're all the same. So you don't have to buy certain ones for like the villains and the heroes. It's all fits the same cards. So they're very modular. I would suggest if you're looking at them to start with a hero set of tokens and a cosmic board. That's going to give you everything that you need to frame up your hero and then add tokens as you take damage and add your statuses in there and whatnot. So this is kind of the best way to start for me. And then if you love that, then you upgrade to 2 more cosmic boards, one for the main scheme, one holds the main villain, and then those also fit all of your various tokens. The scheme's going to fit your acceleration and your threat tokens. And then Green Goblin has health tokens for the villain set of tokens that we make. So I kind of think of it as 2 cosmic boards and a villain set takes care of all the middle of the board, and then 1 hero set and 1 cosmic board takes care of your hero side.
And it's important to know on the villain side as well, that's 1 to 4 players.
That's
So
1 to 4,
you,
yeah.
you only ever need that no matter how many
Did you
players.
split it across your group, or who bought the
So
tokens?
I bought the villain stuff,
Okay.
and then everyone else had the hero.
Right, there you
stuff.
go.
But I think a few of them also bought the villain stuff
Cool.
because they play at home or with other people.
Right.
All right, so next, what surprised you about the Goblin deck from Hitmonkey?
The direct damage. The fact that you can explode. When I first looked at pumpkin bombs, I was like, whatever, this doesn't matter.
Yeah, indirect damage, who cares?
And then whenever you stack pumpkin bombs with extra boost cards, and then all of a sudden there's 1 attack that's dealing 12, 13, 14 damage.
It's very cool.
That will catch you off guard, and I think if we hadn't, as I said, kind of read through these cards before we went through here,
We would have got wrecked.
it would have been tough. I mean, I almost died straight up from that, so that's very surprising. The third form of Green Goblin doing 4 to everybody straight up is going to be surprising. Definitely surprising.
It's a lot of damage.
I think I was surprised at how much the flipping happened too. I thought we'd be able to stick him in 1 form, but
I think even being pretty intentional about when we were hero alter ego,
Mm-hmm.
we still, like he kept, and it's because the encounter cards also do it.
yeah.
So there's nothing you can do about that. That's just
Playing
gonna
this
happen.
scenario probably makes you better at the game as compared to any other ones because you have to be very attentive to hero and villain realities, or I'm sorry, hero and alter ego realities. So that kind of helps you have that conversation more often at the table. Like, well, where are we going to end up?
Yeah.
It's really
Well,
important.
I think it's good that he is the first expansion and not in the core game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're a little more comfortable with that
It's
now.
a great
But like
expansion.
if this was your first game and you were playing against him, it could feel very
You don't have that Sentinels
unfortunate. Yeah.
moment at the beginning where it's like, there's
what,
too
all
much
these
stuff
things to
keep
do.
track of.
100%. All right, next. This is the one I liked. When does the audiobook for the strategy guide come out?
Yeah, who's going to read that puppy?
I-
I'll read it.
Game. I did not realize. Among Us, we have Game Guide 222.
Oh.
He says, "Why is the
The
insert in the box
everlasting.
too big to fit the cards?" So there is a slot for card dividers in the core box. You want me to grab it? You got it.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah.
And I currently have, it's fine.
Yeah.
And we have a close
Can you
up.
go close up there, Brie?
It's the angle's like right there. Yeah. So I have top loaders, which are these are everywhere. You can buy them like Walmart or Amazon or whatever. But they kind of slot in there nicely. I have a feeling they're going to release actual card dividers in the expansion packs or in like OP kits or something. So I assume they're not just making an insert for people to figure out what to do with the card dividers.
That could be an op thing too, organized play thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, they're gonna make those. They must, unless they hate money.
Let's see.
Maybe they do.
I gotta just find the question
Explain
mark.
some
There it is.
things.
Were we playing with the recommended modular set for Green Goblin or one from the core?
Yes, we're playing with Goblin Gimmicks. It's a 8-card modular set that we were given to preview.
Vincent, any thoughts on having a constant overhead cam as the primary scene with you guys as a smaller scene?
We're actually working on it. So in order for us to do that, we have to get actually like metal. We would have to get the metal arch thing, the big guy that has a name. And then we have to get the clamps, and then we clamp the camera to it, and then that's how we would get our overhead. So it's just a matter of cash, honestly. We're just waiting until that's a reasonable investment for us to make. And then we can also put the slider up there, and that would be sick.
Whoa.
So just get ready for that,
Powerful,
Zach.
yeah. Yeah, the marketing, the never-ending department of expenses.
It's nothing but a money drain.
This
but
is a
we're
nice
making
thing.
money too.
Hey,
so-
I'm not complaining. You keep getting the checks. I'll keep writing them if it keeps working. Wasteland Sniper says, love the tokens. You guys make my life so much easier with subscriptions, not having to try tracking release dates.
Awesome. That's what it's all about. That is the #1 benefit to me.
Reed asking, so the GG, I assume Green Goblin Inspired tokens are not out yet, but the plan is to have scenario-specific tokens just for funsies, because the villain tokens should suffice without scenario-specific ones.
That's
yeah?
correct. Yep.
Yeah, it
That is
also...
correct. It's just for theme. We just love the idea of like if you're playing a certain villain, you see thematic things from that villain in your game. So like seeing the glider and seeing the pumpkin bombs and stuff as these schemes are advancing. It's just something that we really value when we play is actually having that kind of immersive experience, but it's not needed at all.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that we during the design process, it was like looking at token quantity counts, because that's another part about the set. We were very specific in wanting to make sure that these token sets could handle 4-player games, 1-player games, etc.
Yeah.
But in the event that this is a concession we made, is like to keep the number of tokens as small as possible that also covers every scenario. Anything happens that our sets don't cover, like in Keyforge, right? They're coming out with some new tokens, so we're doing some new compatible tokens, and then over time those will eventually become a part of the standard set. But if you happen to get in now, we will always try to make that as easy as possible for you to catch up. Mutton Chop, hey,
Mutton
good
Chop.
to hear from you. He says, this is a great comment. I'm not a big comic book guy and probably wouldn't have gotten this game, but because of your playthrough and excitement for the game, you convinced me to purchase it, and I'm glad I did.
Good.
That's
Great.
awesome.
That's great. That could have gone a lot of directions. I'm glad it went in the positive direction. And I hate it.
And
Thanks for nothing.
You guys are awful. I'm never trusting you again. Finn says, no, the wrong comment. Reed says, how easy is it to flip hero cards in the board? Do you have to flip the board over like a Mythos board, or is there a lipless side for easy flipping?
Yeah.
There is a lipless side for easy flipping. You can see it.
Just
Just
rolled
floating
right
in.
out of there, yeah.
Oh, boy.
For that
Finn,
reason.
Is there speculation of us possibly getting hero decks down the line of characters that are allies currently, namely
think
Daredevil
so.
and crew?
I think it will necessarily happen, yes.
I mean, we have to get a Black Widow and a Hawkeye.
we already
and
have
Vision.
rules for how it works in the rule book, so that's a pretty good indicator
No,
it's going to happen.
that is a good one. Just looking for question marks here. I don't know what the question is, but here we go. Casey, is there a spoiler effect in this game? In Arkham, you really lose a certain amount of immersiveness if you played a scenario already. Since this is less story-driven, is it more replayable?
You know, that's interesting. I feel like I have actually more fun when I know the score, right? Like when I know that Green Goblin's going to come out and do 4 damage. Like getting pantsed by that once isn't really that fun. It's just kind of like, oh man, okay, he got us, but now we have to start over.
Yeah.
And then you know it forever. So I don't think that knowing that mechanic makes it less fun. I think it makes it more fun because you can actually manage exactly how the game progresses, which in a cooperative game is really kind of the idea.
Yeah.
It's not Arkham's very much story-driven exploration. That's a part of the fun of the game. This is more about like playing well and doing like, you know, playing your cards right and having some things go badly, having some things go well. You know, like watching your friends have good turns, you have good turns, supporting each other. Like, I don't feel like I need to discover new Green Goblin moments.
Yeah.
Like, the way that things can chain together is always interesting, and you can't really prepare for that. But just knowing what's possible doesn't take away from the game for me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand, like, if you play the game and you want to be surprised the first time you play it, not wanting to watch content like this beforehand. But I do think it's it is built to be replayable, in my opinion, which is like...
It's an engine.
It's supposed to be, this is what it feels like to play against Green Goblin, and anytime you want to face that challenge, you can go face that challenge. Versus like Arkham, I do think that it loses a certain amount of appeal the more times you play through it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm curious what everyone else thinks. Give us a couple months and we'll see.
I even think that mechanically, like a Green Goblin effect like we see, do 4 to every player, I don't think you would see... I've played Arkham plenty, and I've never seen an effect like that, where it's just like, if you didn't know this was going to happen, everybody just loses.
Arkham is more like the thing comes out, and now it's a surprise to you, but now it's on the board and it's going to start doing
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not a surprise, and like, hey, everybody takes 10 damage. Like, that usually doesn't happen. You usually have a way to, like, manage it.
Yeah.
Do
let's
1 or
see.
2 more, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, that's right. Something about the dishes from Galactus, et cetera, et cetera. Timothy says, you're awesome. I got my
Thank you,
course set on
Timothy.
release day. I've played it 6 times. The strategy guide helped immensely.
Yes, yes.
The Wargaming Dad, hello. Will we be seeing more Marvel Crisis Protocol?
Wargaming Dad,
this
you
week?
know it.
He said this week.
Not this week. We'll do. We're doing Keyforge next week, I think, and then Crisis Protocol looks like week after.
The new Keyforge set comes out this Friday.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near Tulsa and play Keyforge, you should come. I'll be hanging
It's
out
a
playing.
great set. It looks really, really good.
So we're going to be playing that on Monday. And then a week from Friday, Crisis
That's the
Protocol
release.
comes out.
Yeah.
So then I think we're hitting that. You said we're hitting that up the Monday after.
Yeah, and we may do some videos between here and there. I'd like to do a video over like cover and line of sight, and maybe some smaller ones that we could just push out real quick. We might find a time to do that because I think that's really relevant, especially as people go into release looking up these rules. I'd like to be there so that we could.
Well, and before we
help
even
them out.
started this stream, you were saying, "Hey, we need to find time to get a game in."
I like it.
You never know.
It's
Maybe
both these games have
we'll
the
do a
hooks
late
in right
night
now.
stream party. We'll see what happens. And then Galactus, we'll give Galactus. We'll do 2 more. One from not Galactus. Reed says, is the strat guide only available via ordering a TC core set?
Yes, that is correct. Right now, that's the case. We designed the plan ahead of time to make sure that that was how we wanted to do it. We wanted to give people who got the game from us a way to easily play the game on those early few days as a benefit from ordering from us. We may release that in other ways down the line. We really are just kind of like at the tail end of all of the plans being achieved. So now it's like, okay, what's the next couple of months? But yeah, you can still get it by buying the core set too. It wasn't just a pre-order special. So if you want to, you can grab a core set, give it to somebody else, tell them to start playing the game. You both have access to the strategy guide, and you're good to go. But we'll definitely look at that too. Like, I think this is something that we should be doing on future releases, like when new games come out.
The response has been great.
I think we might do that
Everyone
next
shouting
time, and then maybe we'll do a better job accommodating like internationals. That might not be a reasonable purchase to make, or something similar, so that it's a little bit more widely available. Because we were just gonna, expecting like this is gonna be a great boon for people to start the game. Didn't realize it would be kind of a frenzy moment for players to try to get it. So. We'll look at it for sure.
Yeah,
but that's the way to
definitely
get it
looking at
right
it.
now.
And then Galactus, can we get a Jim Croce music on fade out?
We can't do that. The stream, we unfortunately are not. We're not that technologically advanced. Although we probably could.
I can pull it up on the computer here. I'm not going to do it though, because YouTube will flag it and be like, copyright stuff.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, thanks so much for chatting with us. I don't know, we might just delete this video. We might not. I don't
Maybe
know.
not. And hey, honestly, everyone that pre-ordered a core set, that has ordered a core set, everyone that signed up for a subscription automatically get future releases for this game, particularly all the people that signed up having never played the game.
Yes.
That's incredible. And on top of that as well, the cosmic tokens, all the pre-orders that happened before you played the game, it's not cheap. So trusting in us that we know what we're doing and that we've created a...
The dials really did suck.
I mean, they're very, I'd say, utilitarian, right? It's like if you're going to track a lot of things with very little material being produced.
It works.
It works.
It's great for the price point and the core set, but
yeah, for trusting in us and for buying from us, really appreciate it. All the support we've gotten, all the kind words that people are sending. Steven and I have been taking over the social media and the comments lately.
been taking screenshots.
Yeah, and so it's
hang them on my wall for when things go poorly. I can read them. And
it's like,
be
hey,
happy
remember
again.
when we were good at what we did? Anyways, really appreciate it, and for watching all this content and sharing and everything. It means the world. So we couldn't be here without you.
Have a great time with the game, and in doing so, keep playing.